Hey everybody, this is Doa, and I'm so excited to bring these games to you. This is actually the first of a couple games I'm casting highlighting this player right here. He is RebornfOu, that's right, a member of the team FOU over in Korea, and he's a bit of an interesting case. He actually was born in Korea apparently, moved to Canada when he was 5, and then recently just moved back to play in the Code A qualifiers, ended up joining FOU, so now he's living in the team house. I met up with him at GSL the other day, and man, he's got a lot of interesting stories. I did an interview with him you can read over at cybersports.net. I'll have a link to that in the description for this video and everything, of course. But yeah, just wanted to cast a couple of his games just to kind of introduce the community to this new Korean player that we're probably going to be hearing a lot more about in the future. But here he is anyway, RebornfOu, spawning as the blue Terran up at the top part of Scrap Station, and his opponent is going to be none other than leeadama himself. That's right, he's not commanding the Battlestar Galactica anymore. Apparently he's decided to become a Zerg hive mind, but hey, you know, it's never too late in life to make a career choice like that, so nothing wrong with that at all. So RebornfOu versus leeadama on Scrap Station, a good old ZVT. Looks like for now Reborn is deciding to start a kind of regular wall off, nothing really out of the ordinary there, no gas quite yet, so he might be deciding to do something like a 1-Rax expand. I'm hoping this actually isn't too choppy. This is actually my first cast on my old desktop computer since coming back from Korea, so I'm not quite sure how well things are going to run. We're going to find out. Looks like leeadama deciding to go hatch first. Nothing wrong with that, especially on a big map like Scrap Station. Not a lot of distance between here and here per se, but a lot of distance to kind of walk around the bottom of the map, a big U-shaped path. And it looks like RebornfOu going for another barracks instead. Probably going to wall this off with either like a bunker, another supply depot, or something like that. A little bit different wall off than we're used to seeing, but again, this is a player that has a lot of influence from actually the North American server and is a more recently kind of a Korean server player, so he brings a little bit of a different style, I guess you could say, and indeed he is going to start another supply depot. The drone is denied, he's not going to be able to get in. That drone has wandered all the way over across the map for nothing, and he's going to go crying home probably, but you know, such is the life of the drone. He'll probably become a building someday, and then his life will be complete. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, and already we see leeadama pulling back his overlord just in time, does not want to get it caught by any of these marines or anything like that. Definitely a bad thing if you're a Zerg player to lose your overlord so early in the game. Trust me, I know from personal experience, it's not a lot of fun. So for now, this drone is going to content itself with taking the Xel'Naga Watchtower, watching for any sort of early marine SCV aggression, with which Terran players are so keen on doing lately. And it looks like RebornfOu kind of reinforcing this wall a little bit. He's a little bit worried about Baneling busts, I guess, which does happen on this map. This is a nice big target for Baneling, so you do see that fairly often. In the meantime, leeadama just getting out a couple Zerglings for now, getting his spawning pool, getting his gas going. I'm curious to see if he's going to go into Zergling speed right away, or just kind of what path he's going to take. We're going to have to find out. Getting a spine crawler here just in case. You can tell he's a little bit worried maybe about Hellions or something like that, but wants to be prepared as well. So both of these players playing a little bit defensive, and this game was actually played on the Korean ladder as far as I know, and so this is a pretty high level game as well. RebornfOu, you'll read about in the interview, actually got to join FOU by going to their team house and beating a couple of their players, so he's definitely no slouch when it comes to StarCraft 2, so I'm sure we'll be able to see great things out of him in the future. Putting up his command center at his natural. Zerglings poking in a little bit. They will of course need to fall back right away as the Marines are right there. Why wouldn't they be? What else are they going to do on Scrap Station? There's really not a whole lot else to do, really. Trust me. I lived on Scrap Station for a while. It was pretty boring. So Zergling speed going up for leeadama. That's right, because he knows that anyone could be a Cylon. Could be this drone. Could be this drone. Any of these drones, even this queen, could be a Cylon. It's very dangerous on Scrap Station for a Zerg player like leeadama. This spine crawler looks like he wants to land right there, but deciding not to. No, he's just going to hang out, stand around. Spine crawler could be a Cylon. Meantime, RebornfOu moving across the map with a good group of Marines, and no Banelings or anything like that. Zergling speed not finished yet for leeadama, so Reborn might actually be able to do a little bit of damage with this. I don't think he's going to be able to do a whole lot, but with some proper micro can kill off a lot of Zerglings anyway. That's exactly what we're seeing right here. So he's going to kind of whittle down the army of leeadama a little bit. Always a helpful thing to do. These Zerglings may decide to kind of go for a counterattack a little bit later, but what does leeadama have to defend against this? You know, I just realized that leeadama, I'm pretty sure he's like the younger Adama, isn't he? I don't know, I haven't watched that show for a while. And here comes RebornfOu. He's moving in right now. That queen is actually in a really bad spot. Wow, losing the queen right away. And the Zerglings are going to get this round on the Marines. That's not going to be a problem. Drone's coming out to see what's up, and they're like, yeah, no, you got it covered. They pull back. So RebornfOu losing his Marines there, but picking off a queen, not quite an even trade, I gotta say, but it is always nice to kill those queens early in the game. Was that just the creep queen? No, that was actually the queen at the main hatchery. Okay, so that's going to slow down leeadama a little bit. Alright, so the speedlings poking in a little bit. They're going to take a look at the Marines and move away. Might try to take down these destructible rocks. A lot of Zerg players decide to go after that a little bit later. You can see already Reborn walling this in, playing again very, very defensively, and actually deciding to go for the +1, as well as this tech lab here. Probably going to see Stim started, actually going for combat shields instead, because he does have Stim going on this other tech lab apparently. Starting to get his upgrades right now, as that first push didn't do a whole lot of damage. leeadama in the meantime getting a couple gases, and really he's got a lot of options from here. He's getting his evolution chamber, and really this is about the time you'd probably see a Zerg player go for a lair. In fact, it's a little bit later than I think we see most Zerg players go for lairs. Usually you want to get something going to make that transition into the mid game, whether it's a lair for infestors, or if it's a roach warren deciding to go for roach drops, or something more common like you know, a baneling nest and a spire to go mutiling or something like that. Looks like Link's poking in again, but right now RebornfOu just has way too many Marines. He is ahead in the supply count, as we can see from the top right now, deciding to go after the destructible rocks. Why not? They don't fight back. They're pretty easy to kill. Overlord flying about the map there, trying to keep an eye on things. And right now, let's take a look at the worker count here. We have 38 to 34. Looks like our Zerg player is in the lead, not too surprisingly at this point. He should be able to produce more drones than his Terran opponent at this time. And wow, losing a couple more Zerglings. leeadama has been very, very sort of cavalier with his Zerglings. He hasn't been too careful with them, and he may live to regret that, or may not live to regret that. We're going to have to see what happens with this push. Baneling Nest is about 3/4 of the way done right now for leeadama. Where is he building it? Where is the Baneling Nest? I must find it. Baneling Nest, where are you? There it is. There is the Baneling Nest. No sense of a spire, or no sign rather of a spire. No lair even right now. So a little bit surprising play from leeadama right now. Maybe just feels that he's under the pressure where he needs to produce units right now. Can't afford to get anything higher. He is going for a lot of Banelings right now. So possibly going for some sort of late high economy Baneling aggression. Little bit surprising, I guess you could say here, giving RebornfOu a lot of time really to build up an army. And oh my gosh, that is a lot of barracks and a lot of reactors. You know, Reborn told me that recently he did switch from Zerg to Terran, so I think he's picking up quite nicely. He's got the idea that you just need to make a lot of Marines, and there you go, that's all you need. So here comes the Bioforce for RebornfOu right now. Lots of Banelings coming in. Can he micro them well enough? Nice Marine splitting, actually. Getting a lot of those away, and only 2 of the Banelings getting in, so really not that bad by RebornfOu, keeping a lot of that bio alive. But is it going to be enough? He's really, really stimmed those units quite a bit, and there are no medevacs right now. It's not going to really matter. The strategy that RebornfOu is going for is kind of one as such where you can kind of sacrifice a lot of these bio units, because you're just going to be powering so hard on 2 bases. Look at that, all those Marines coming out at once. 18 Marines in production right now, so with that you can afford to overstim, you can afford to kind of overdo things. Here come a lot of speedlings, but look at this, already so many Marines out for RebornfOu, and leeadama I think has missed his chance. It's going to be very, very difficult now for him to take anything like a 3rd base, for him to tech up a lot. Here come more Marines for Reborn right now. You can see that leeadama is indeed getting his lair down here, but there's some action here. Oh no, a lot of Banelings getting in there. More Marines being taken out, except that, you know what, it's not really going to matter too much, because there's even more Marines coming down right now. More reinforcements. This is just kind of the Terran version of the swarm. Look at all those Marines coming in right now. He's trying to micro them pretty well, and actually not doing a bad job. Whoa, 3 Banelings to 1 Marine. That is what I call a pretty good trade for a Terran player. And here comes some more Marines right now, trying to take out the spine crawlers. He's going to probably need to pull back. Nice transfuse on that one, keeping it alive. But look at all these Marines right now. It's not even going to matter that they're stimmed. Doesn't matter. Stimming again to keep that, or keeping that spine crawler alive a little bit longer with the transfuse. But I think that is going to be about it. Oh, look out for the Banelings. Trying to split, but he does lose a lot of Marines right now. And so he is going to have to... No, never mind. He's got more Marines on the way. I don't think I've ever seen so many Marines produce at once. Reminds me a lot of, oh, who was it? SC versus Lucira, I believe it was, on Terminus Re in the GSL. Just producing tons and tons of Marines. It's very, very similar style. And look at that, actually doing such a good job splitting those Marines. Trading like 3 or 4 Banelings to every 1 Marine. That's not bad at all. So between the micro for these Marines and just the sheer amount that he's producing right now, RebornfOu is definitely able to kind of keep in the lead right now. He's getting higher and higher in the supply count. Only 1 Spine Crawler left. Queen is probably going to go down very, very soon. Both of these Queens going down. And at this point, RebornfOu in big trouble, I would say. So much action here. I'd love to go back and take a look at the bases, but there's so much going on at the moment. More Banelings coming in, but right now there's just too many Marines, sacrificing a couple of them. And there, leeadama has left the game, off to find another planet where it's a little bit safer, not so many Marines running around, or I guess we will call them Cylons again in this case. So say we all. That is the end of the game. So that's the end of the first game with RebornfOu, showing us that kind of unique Mass Marine SC FOU style. He is on the same team, so there's got to be a little bit of influence there. So again, thanks for watching, guys. If you like my stuff, definitely subscribe. You can find me at DOA StarCraft on YouTube. Otherwise, check out my Twitter at DOA SC. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next cast.